I'm designed to kill.
I don't care.
I've killed people before.
It does not matter.
I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life.
I trust you.
Don't.
Every billion-dollar franchise has a secret ingredient. For Harry Potter, it was a world of magic hiding just beneath our own, the ultimate letter-in-the-mail fantasy. For The Hunger Games, it was a raw spirit of rebellion and a scathing critique of media consumption. But for Twilight, the secret ingredient has always been its most controversial and most maligned element, its protagonist. When people talk about what makes the series so compelling, Bella Swan is rarely the answer. In fact, it's usually the opposite. For over a decade, she has been the internet's favorite punching bag, the gold standard for how not to write a heroine. You've heard it all before. She's bland, she's a clumsy wet blanket, she has the personality of a beige wall in a room full of neon signs. For years, the consensus has been that Bella is, to put it kindly, a poorly written protagonist, a passive, hollow damsel who exists only to be fought over by a glittery, high-fashion vampire and a frequently shirtless werewolf. And look, you're not wrong. If we judge Bella by the traditional rules of character writing, if we look for independent agency, a distinct voice, or a clear internal arc that doesn't involve a man, she fails. She fails spectacularly. But that leads us to a massive, sparkling contradiction. If the main character is so fundamentally flawed, so empty, how did this story succeed on such a global, earth-shattering scale? How did a bad character anchor a franchise that defined a generation? That's the question we're tackling today. Because when you stop looking at Bella as a poorly realized person and start looking at her as a narrative tool, you realize you're not looking at a mistake, you're looking at a blueprint. A blueprint for one of the most effective, immersive, and wildly successful fantasies of all time. We are here to re-examine the nothingness of Bella Swan and discover how, in the world of YA fiction, being a blank slate is actually an art form. Chapter 1. The Blank Canvas. A heroine designed for you. Let's start with a basic exercise. Describe Bella Swan without mentioning her appearance or her relationship with Edward and Jacob. It's harder than it should be, right? She likes to read? She's clumsy? She's not like other girls, but in a way that is never actually specified? Compare her to her contemporaries. Katniss Everdeen is defined by her survivalism, her anger, and her fierce, sacrificial love for her sister. Buffy Summers is defined by her wit, her burden of destiny, and her struggle to balance being a slayer with being a teenager. These are characters you observe. You watch them. You might admire them or even root for them, but there is always a barrier between you and them because they are specific, fully realized people. Bella Swan has no such barrier, and that is by design. Stephenie Meyer didn't write a character, she built an interface. Bella is the ultimate self-insert. Her profound lack of distinct hobbies, strong political stances, or unique quirks isn't an accidental oversight, it's a tactical removal of obstacles. Every specific detail a writer adds to a protagonist is one more reason for a reader to say, "That's not like me." By stripping Bella down to a generic, relatable girl starter pack, Meyer creates a vacuum, and what happens to a vacuum? It pulls everything into it. Bella's internal monologue, especially in the books, is largely descriptive of the world around her rather than her own internal landscape. She is a camera lens. When she describes Edward's beauty for the 100th time, she isn't telling you how she feels, she's inviting you to feel that way. She is the blank canvas, and the reader provides the paint. Even her clumsiness, the one trait she actually has, is the perfect self-insert flaw. It's not a character defect that requires growth, it's a relatable quirk that serves two purposes. It makes her feel approachable to someone who feels awkward in their own skin, and it provides a constant, low-stakes excuse for the supernatural men around her to catch her, hold her, and protect her. Bella is a vessel. She's a hollow space shaped like a teenage girl, waiting for the reader to step inside, put on her skin, and experience the thrill of being the most important person in a room full of gods. If she were better written, if she were more complex, more opinionated, more human, the fantasy wouldn't be nearly as immersive. You wouldn't be living the story, you'd just be reading hers. Chapter 2. Passenger Seat Protagonist. A study in inaction. There's a concept in storytelling called agency. It's the idea that a protagonist makes choices that drive the plot forward. Usually, we want our heroes to do things. We want them to hunt the monster, solve the mystery, or lead the rebellion. Bella Swan, however, is a masterclass in the opposite. If her life were a road trip, she wouldn't even be in the driver's seat. She wouldn't even be the navigator. She is firmly, eternally buckled into the passenger seat, staring out the window while other people handle the steering, the gas, and the occasional collision. Think about the most iconic action beats in the series. The van sequence? Bella is a stationary object waiting to be hit, and Edward makes the save. Port Angeles? Bella is cornered and helpless. Edward drives the getaway car. The showdown with James? Bella is a victim being hunted. The Cullens handle the logistics, the tracking, and the eventual execution. Even her most dramatic moments are defined by her inability to act. In New Moon, when Edward leaves, Bella doesn't go on a journey of self-discovery. She doesn't find a new passion. She falls into a literal catatonic state. The story literally stops because she has stopped reacting to a man. Her proactive choice in that book is to put herself in danger so she can hear a voice telling her not to do it. It is agency used in the service of being told what to do. This art of doing nothing is vital to the Twilight architecture. You see, the primary love language of the Twilight universe is protection. For Edward to be the ultimate protector, Bella must be the ultimate protectee. If Bella were competent, if she could defend herself, if she could navigate the vampire world without tripping over her own feet, the central romantic dynamic would crumble. Her inaction creates the space for the men to be heroic. Her passivity is the fuel for their obsession. By doing nothing, she becomes the center of a storm of activity. She is the sun that the planets orbit, but she doesn't have to burn. She just has to exist. It's a subversion of the chosen one trope. Bella isn't chosen because she's special because she was chosen, and the audience, sitting right there in that passenger seat with her, gets to feel the rush of that unconditional, overwhelming protection without ever having to lift a finger. Chapter 3. A reflection of men. Because Bella lacks a solid, unmoving core, she becomes a psychological chameleon. Her identity is not fixed, it is situational. Specifically, her personality is a reflection of whichever male lead is currently occupying her field of vision. This is where the blank slate becomes a mirror. When she is with Edward, she becomes Edward's Bella. This version of her is ethereal, fragile, and intensely focused on the grand tragedy of their love. She speaks in the stilted, formal cadence he prefers. She adopts his view of her as something breakable and precious. In his presence, she's a Victorian heroine trapped in the 21st century, preoccupied with souls, damnation, and the monstrous nature of the man she loves. She doesn't just love a vampire, she adopts the aesthetic of a vampire's obsession. But then, look at what happens when she's with Jacob. Jacob's Bella is a completely different person. She's earthy, she's loud, she's fixing motorcycles in a garage, smelling of grease and dirt. She's laughing, she's human. Jacob sees her as the sun, the thing that keeps him grounded to his humanity, and when she is with him, she reflects that back at him. She feels the pull of a normal life, a warm life, because that is the reflection he provides. She doesn't navigate these two relationships as a consistent person weighing two options. She shifts her entire frequency to match the man she is with. This is why the Team Edward versus Team Jacob debate was so fierce. It wasn't just a choice between two guys, it was a choice between two entirely different versions of who Bella could be. Critics call this weak characterization. They say she has no backbone. But from a narrative design perspective, it's a stroke of genius. It allows the story to offer two completely different fantasies simultaneously. Do you want to be the fragile, cherished jewel of a dark, brooding prince? Step into the Edward mirror. Do you want to be the vibrant, essential soul of a warm, powerful protector? Step into the Jacob mirror. Bella can be both because she is, fundamentally, neither. She is the reflective surface that makes the reader feel like they are the one being transformed by love. She doesn't have a soul for us to understand. She has a surface for us to see ourselves in. And in a world of high-stakes romance, that mirror is worth more than any well-written personality could ever be.
You imprinted on my daughter?
It wasn't my choice.
She's a baby!
It's not like that. You think Edward would let me live if it was?
Still debating.
I've held her once. One time, Jacob! And already you think that you have some moronic, wolfy claim on her? She's mine!
Chapter 4. Flashes of a Spine. When Bella actually did something. Now, I can already hear the Twilight defenders typing away in the comments, but she's not just a passenger. What about Italy? What about the baby? What about her shield? And you know what? You're absolutely right. To claim that Bella Swan has zero agency over the course of 4 massive books and 5 movies would be a lie. There are moments, specific, high-stakes glimmers where a spine seems to spontaneously generate out of thin air. But we have to look closer. Because even when Bella acts, she isn't acting for herself. She's acting for the preservation of the fantasy. Let's look at Volterra in New Moon. This is arguably Bella's most proactive moment in the entire saga. She finds out Edward is planning to sparkle suicide by sunlight, and she doesn't wait for permission. She gets on a plane, she sprints through a crowded Italian square, and she physically throws herself at him to stop him. In that moment, she is the hero. She is the one making the save. But why is she doing it? Is it because she's realized her own worth? Is it part of a greater mission? No. It's because the Edward mirror we talked about in Chapter 3 is about to break, and without it, she ceases to exist. Her agency is a localized phenomenon. It only activates when the men who define her are in jeopardy. Then we have the most controversial arc in the series, the pregnancy and Breaking Dawn. For the first time in the entire franchise, Bella stands up to everyone, including Edward. He begs her to choose her life over the thing growing inside her. Jacob is furious. Carlisle is clinical and worried. Bella is alone. And yet, she digs her heels in. She chooses Renesmee. On the surface, this looks like the ultimate act of bodily autonomy. It looks like Bella finally finding a voice. But if you peel back the layers, you realize it's actually the final stage of her total assimilation into the supernatural world. She isn't choosing motherhood as a human woman. She's choosing the ultimate permanent link to the Cullen family. She isn't fighting for her own future. She's fighting for the manifestation of her obsession. Bella's agency is like an in case of emergency break glass box. She only uses it when the status quo of her romantic obsession is threatened. She doesn't have a spine for herself. She has a spine for them. Her strength is entirely derivative. Even when she's being strong, she's still doing it through the lens of being someone's wife or someone's mother. The art of doing nothing isn't broken in these moments. It's just being defended. Chapter 5. The Perfect Vessel. Why Twilight Needs an Empty Heroine. So here's the million-dollar question. If Bella is a passive, identity-shifting, reactive vacuum of a character, why did this work? Why did it work so well that it literally changed the publishing industry? Because for the fantasy of Twilight to function, Bella Swan had to be empty. Think about the world Meyer built. It's a world of marble-skinned predators who drive sports cars, speak 6 languages, and possess godlike powers. If the protagonist was a girl with a big, vibrant personality, if she was funny or ambitious or had a rich internal life, she would be a distraction. We would be watching her navigate the world. But because Bella is a beige wall, she doesn't block our view. She's the window through which we see the Cullens. Her normalcy is the yardstick by which we measure their extraordinariness. If Bella was special in a human way, the vampires wouldn't seem so supernatural. She's the baseline. She's the anchor of reality that allows the audience to drift into the impossible. Her deliberate emptiness creates the perfect environment for unconditional love. In the real world, we love people for their traits, their humor, their kindness, their intelligence. But in the Twilight world, Edward doesn't love Bella because of what she does or even who she is. He loves her because of her scent. He loves her because her blood is his personal brand of heroine. That is the ultimate wish fulfillment fantasy, the idea that you don't have to be talented or smart or funny or even particularly interesting to be the most important person in the universe to a powerful, beautiful being. You don't have to do anything to deserve him, you just have to exist. Bella Swan is a narrative masterpiece of engineering. She's a vessel designed to carry the reader's ego into a world where they're the center of a cosmic obsession. If she were a more complete person, there wouldn't be enough room in the character for us to fit inside. Meyer didn't leave her empty because she forgot to finish her. She left her empty to make sure we could all move in. Conclusion: the surprising success of a passive protagonist. So where does that leave us? Is Bella Swan a badly written character? If you're using the standard literary rubric, the one that prizes growth, independence, and complex motivation, then yes, Bella is a disaster. She represents almost everything we've been taught to reject in a modern heroine. But if you judge a character by their effectiveness, Bella Swan is one of the most successful protagonists in the history of fiction. She's the perfect answer to a very specific, very human craving, the desire to be chosen without the pressure of having to earn it. The Twilight Renaissance we're seeing today isn't just about nostalgia, it's a re-engagement with that core fantasy. We live in a world that constantly demands we do things, be productive, have a brand, build a career, have an aesthetic. Bella Swan offers the ultimate escape from all of that. She's the girl who did absolutely nothing, and in return, the universe moved heaven and earth to keep her safe and loved. Maybe the reason we love to mock her so much is that she holds up an uncomfortable mirror to our own desires. We want to be the hero who saves the world, sure, but deep down, in the quiet, sparkly corners of our minds, a lot of us just want to be the one who gets saved. Bella Swan isn't a hero, she's a blueprint for a passive, beautiful, hollow dream, and until we stop wanting that dream, she'll always be the most powerful nothing in pop culture. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this deep dive. This character analysis was a bit of a journey, and I'm curious to know where you landed. Are you team she's a bad character, or team she's a genius tool? Or, like me, are you somewhere in the middle, just fascinated that a beige wall managed to conquer the world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read as many as I can, and I love the discussions that happen there. If you enjoyed this re-examination, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. And subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the stories that shape us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.